Hey guys, NG here. So if you're anything like me, I'm a little bit lazy lately when it comes to doing final bosses, so when it comes to farming up this shop, your shop may look a little bit like mine. You may have a lot of items left to buy. Luckily, I found some teams that work out pretty well in auto where you can actually farm this boss without much effort. Alright, so let's get to it. So, this team here, you're like, what is this? Well, it's a pretty standard Pierce team, but you have Weinheidt in the back. This way, Weinheidt's passive will activate, giving you some nice stats. His passive, if you don't know, gives allies pierce rate at the end of every turn, up to 5 times, so that by the end of the fight you'll have an additional 40% pierce rate. Next, another part of this team comp that works really well is Lilia. Lilia, if you don't know her passive, gives 1/2 of her pierce rate to all allies at the start of the battle. And my Lilia has UR gear with pierce rate rolls. So she has about 113 pierce rate. This means she'll be giving my units on the team about 56.5% pierce rate boosted, which is pretty nice. As for gear on my Elizabeth, I have a rare ring with pierce rate, as well as a SSR bracelet with a mixture of pierce and attack rolls on it. See? Attack and pierce rate mixed rolls, and a pierce rate ring. Nothing too fancy there. And on Demon Meliodas, well, Demon Meliodas is actually using my UR gear set for LV Meliodas, so he has maxed out base stats and attack rolls. To do this on Hell difficulty, you may need better gear. However, this team can work quite well and will operate just as efficiently with not as good gear in the other difficulties. So the key to this team is, since the fight takes a while and you have to kill the side little golems, Weinheidt's passive will stack up, thus giving you more pierce rate. And what makes this team so auto-friendly is you can actually eat lifesteal food. You might think attack food would make you go faster, and you'd be right. But there's a little bit more risk involved with that. I found myself often dying, or having to come back and actively play, instead of being able to auto. So with lifesteal food, you can actually auto this battle without much worry at all, with this team comp specifically. We don't have Zarchos because we're not whales. You know, we're a little bit of a dolphin, but we're not whales. So we have this team comp here, and this team can auto hell with the gear setup that I have. You may not have gear that I do, so you can use this team comp if you have these units on a lower difficulty, say extreme. Now, I'll just do a quick demo run here of the auto, and by that I mean I'm literally going to enter the battle, let auto run, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Alright, here we go, loading into the fight. As you can see, we went out on CC, very important. You definitely want to start off on the right foot here. But even if you lack in CC, as you'll see here, auto is on, my mouse is over here, I'm not clicking any cards. And watch this fight run. So you'll notice here that Meliodas actually uses corrosion. Unfortunately, corrosion won't do anything for us in this fight, so it's effectively a useless card. Luckily, we get both Pierce cards to go off, and that's because Demon Meliodas is on the right side, so his debuff will take priority over Elizabeth's. Therefore, we waste our corrosion more often than not on turn 1. The rest of this fight, pretty self-explanatory. You'll see that our AoE damage will knock down the golems, thus lowering Diane's overall health, as well as the golem's health, making them easier to kill. One benefit of having Lilia on the comp is that sometimes she'll automatically get lucky, you'll get the merger, and you'll be able to roll back ultimates. Here we weren't so lucky, and you'll notice that happens, and that's why we use the lifesteal food. This allows us to mitigate our bad RNG, to speak of the RNG, This setup's a little unfortunate, you know, sometimes you'll get a clog of a lot of single targets like EliHawks here, and you may also get quite a few Lilia heal cards, so that's one downside to this setup. I'll put up some pros and cons at the end of every little tidbit, but I'll let the rest of the fight play out for itself. And you'll see sometimes you get turns where Elizabeth just really wants to use that debuff card, so she'll triple attack with a debuff card. Not to worry, you can usually recover from this afterwards by drawing into some Pierce cards. But if you keep drawing into single targets, your HP will get a little bit low. Although, Meliodas is getting kinda low. I wonder if he'll die. I wasn't sweating there. I wasn't worried about Meliodas dying. Nope, not at all. But thanks to this, you'll notice that Meliodas tops himself back up pretty much to full. Look at that, 142k heal? Wow. Pretty impressive, and he's pretty much back at full, and that's pretty much how the team works. Just do tons of damage thanks to Weinheidt's passive, boosting everyone's pierce rate, and you just lifesteal through, and you'll be able to take out the boss. Alright, and with this turn we should be moving into Phase 2. As you can tell, Corrosion didn't really do anything there, but luckily those Pierce cards are clapping hard. Man, this animation really is super cool. That look in her eyes, she thinks she's gonna destroy us. And she starts off with ult right away. Unfortunately, we do not have a Lilia ult rollback, so we're just gonna be taking this one to the face. But with a strong start off from BDM, looks like this run will be going just alright. Those extremely generous mergers, we'll be getting our ults soon. However, as you'll soon notice, our ults don't always go where we want them to in auto mode. Now we have BDM's ult, so hopefully this goes towards Diane, but you never know, sometimes it just doesn't. Unfortunately, since the game likes to prioritize ultimates over other cards, it'll likely be that we won't get the weak point effect on whoever we target with our ultimate. But the ultimate will lifesteal Meliodas back to full, which is a good thing. And the interesting thing is, if you have no cards left to use, the game will auto-merge them, but it merges them from right to left, instead of left to right, which is less optimal for cascade merging. So as you can tell by that ultimate by BDM, since it's single target, it doesn't always end up where you want it. However, now we have EliHawk's ultimate, so hopefully her ultimate will end up in the right place. sadly, does not look like the ultimate hit the right place. But BDM coming in clutch with the Pierce card, dealing some big damage here. And this should finish out the fight. A nice little ult drain from Lilia for a few extra points. And BDM will finish it off with the Pierce card. There we go. Not gonna lie, I was sweating a little bit, but hey, all's well that ends well, right? We still got the clear with auto. No manual intervention. Look at that, 2,000 points. Now, there are a few things to mention between autoing on Hell versus an autoing on Extreme. Autoing on Hell will give you a higher payout of coins to stamina. However, as you saw, can be a little sweaty and you can cut it close a few times. So if you find yourself having a little bit of difficulty, definitely feel free to drop down to Extreme. It costs 30 stamina for 32, 29, or 26 coins. But if you notice here in Hell, it's 48, 45, and 42. So technically it's a little faster time-wise to be doing Hell runs if you can. But for stamina efficiency, I would actually say go to Extreme. But all up to you, your choice, your gear. But that's how the team works with Lilia, Green EliHawk, and BDM. Alright, now let's get into the next team. This next team will be running on extreme difficulty. It can do Hell difficulty, but without Lilia's ult rollback, you do tend to run in riskier situations just like you saw before. Now we have here Escanor. Escanor is a hard-hitting single-target character, and he's basically just here to be a meat stick. He's just going to sit there and just clap those golems and deal some nice damage onto Diane, so let's get into it. Same gear for Green EliHawk and Blue BDM, or Blue Meliodas, as before. And just like the last run, we'll just let the fight auto itself, and any little interesting tidbits I'll just kind of narrate out, and let's just sit back and enjoy. You'll notice that this fight with this team plays out very similarly to Blue Lilia. However, because Escanor has a single target attack, you'll actually kill some of the golems a little faster than others. Therefore, you can result in situations like this where you killed one golem but not the other, therefore you don't get the HP debuff yet. So, sometimes your start may be a little slower. If you use the Blue Lilia team here, more often than not, Blue Demon Meliodas' Pierce card, and in this case it would have been Lilia's merged ult drain, would have been enough to KO both golems, giving you the HP debuff turn 1. So that is a slight downside, but if you don't have Lilia, this is a not bad alternative. And just like that, we have both the golems killed once, therefore applying the HP debuff across the board. And unfortunately, we haven't drawn many Pierce cards on Meliodas, but we've drawn quite a few on Escanor and EliHawk in terms of their debuff cards. RNG is a little fickle, but it will tend to prefer to use Elizabeth first, due to her being on the right side of the team compared to Escanor. But the game likes to prove me wrong and uses Escanor's son, followed by double EliHawk cards. And we got a lucky merge there on Ellie's Pierce card, so this should be a pretty quick cleanup to the fight. Probably another 2-3 turns from here on out. And here we go. A little bit of roulette. Oh, take out one golem. Will this one point at Diane? Nope, they both point at the golem. Well, here goes another turn. And look at that, Escanor finally decided to hit Diane. And with that, the fight's over. You may have been sweating a little bit at the end, just like I was, but don't worry, even if BDM died, Escanor and EliHawk would have been more than enough to clean up the fight. Luckily, we're not here for score, we're just here for these nice, juicy coins. Alright, so let's get to this third and final team. We'll be using Green Nunchuck Bond. Green Nunchuck Bond's a good pick here because he has, for his attack card, an AoE card here. It also gives him extra lifesteal, so he'll be nice and healthy. Next, we also have Snatch. Snatch will extort attack and defense, lowering the enemy's stats, thus helping your AoE cards hit a little harder. His passive, Extort Life, decreases enemies' HP-related stats by 10% if the hero doesn't take damage. However, he's going to be taking damage pretty much every turn. Alright, so there's a really nice start you can get with this team comp, which would be Extort into AoE into Pierce card. So hopefully we get it. Alright, here we go. Hopefully we get Extort into AoE into Pierce. There we go. And this means it'll be a nice smooth run. And with that, we have a nice smooth transition into Phase 2. This team is pretty fun to watch if you just happen to catch it out of the corner of your eye while you're doing some work or whatever. But starting off strong here with some Pierce cards and a Drain. And just like that, a nice smooth run. And final boss Diane has been snatched. Now we go to the shop, straight to the bank with all these coins, and we can buy out final boss Diane skins. Or whatever else your heart desires.